Hi, Ben here from Simply Spanish Wine, and today I want to talk to you about a white wine grape called Albariño. Now, Albariño is found in the northwest corner of the Iberian Peninsula, Spain and northern Portugal. There are a few vineyards in South Africa and Australia that are starting to produce it, but the spiritual home of Albariño grape is northwest Spain, Portugal, and northern Portugal and northwest Spain, particularly Galicia. And within Galicia, the region of Rias Baixas, which is one of the 5 official wine growing regions or denominaciones de origen in Galicia. Now, for those of you who don't know Galicia, it's not what you would normally expect from Spain. We all have this vision of Spain as being sun, sea, sand, hot climate, dry, sitting there in the bar with your sangria. Galicia is not like that. Galicia is very green, plenty of rain, you've got lovely Atlantic coastlines with waves crashing against the rocks. It's more like western coast of Ireland than it is the sort of Mediterranean that you would probably picture when you're thinking of Spain. But that's good for Albariño. That really works because the Albariño grape benefits from a humid climate. It really doesn't like too much heat. And it does like the humidity that you get in Galicia, particularly in the Rias Baixas area. So it's actually a perfect growing area for the Albariño grape. But what you do tend to find is the grape is grown upon pergolas, so that the vines are trailed up so that they're a little bit raised off the ground. This means that they get a little bit more air flowing through the vines, and so that they avoid too much static humidity, so they still get a little bit of a fresh breeze going through there. And it also means that they can get a little bit more exposure to the sun. But yeah, Albariño, northwest of Spain, is a perfect location for it. Now, the Albariño grape does produce quite a lot of sugars, but it does retain its acidity, which then is what imparts what's so nice about this grape and the wines that it produces. Because you'll end up with a wine that has got this really, really lovely fresh fruit sort of flavour and a crisp undertone of the acidity. So when you first smell the wine, you get quite a lot of floral sensations. So people talk about honeysuckle, that is the first thing that they can smell, but also then a touch of lime coming into it, and you're already getting that mixture of floral and citric acidity. And then when you taste it, that carries through, so you'll get flavors like lime, you'll get grapefruit in there, but there's also a flavor of peach as well, quite often. That's sort of a slightly softer, sweeter fruit that you'll get in there as well. So this really nice mix of good floral fruitiness, but a nice clean cutting through of acidity that you get that really makes this wine beautiful to drink. It's not really aged very often. There are some winemakers in Galicia who are starting to experiment with barrel aging, but a lot of people argue that if you give this wine too much contact with the barrel, then those wooden tones that will come through, the flavors that the barrel imparts, hide that zestiness, that sort of clean flavor that this wine offers. So more often than not, you're not seeing it aged, but every now and then you might find a bottle that has been barrel aged, and if you get one, worth trying it. But what you will see more often is Albariño that's been left on the lees. Now, the lees are basically the dead yeast cells that are left over from the fermentation process. And most winemakers, once fermentation has finished, will remove the lees from the wine. But in some cases, and certainly in the case of Albariño producers, they're starting to leave the wine on the lees for a little bit longer. And that means that the lees can impart a little bit more body and a bit more complexity to the wine. So if you see a bottle of Albariño on the lees, then definitely do pick it up and give it a try, because you'll find an Albariño with a slightly more complex, bit more body and a slightly different personality or characteristic than you would get from a standard bottle of Albariño, which has just got that young, fresh, zesty fruitiness going on with it. In terms of food pairings, then this wine drinks beautifully with seafood. It's absolutely perfect pairing. So clams, mussels, oysters if you can get them. Absolutely perfect mix with Albariño. But also, if you're getting an Albariño that's been on the lees, and because it's got that slightly more complex, bit more body to it, then it will also pair nicely with slightly more robust foods, maybe a paella, a plate of rice, white meats, fish courses, etc. But basically, if you are a fan of fruity, crisp, light white wines, definitely suggest you find a bottle of Albariño and give it a taste. So I hope that's helped. I hope you've learned a little bit more in the video. If you have, then give us a like, subscribe to the channel, go and find us on Facebook, and share the video with your friends. And we'll see you next time on Simply Spanish Wine for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.